we're targeting youth culture, we're capturing stories within youth culture.
Yeah.
So these brands want to be a part of it, but there needs to be a way that we serving the ads to this target audience that does not understand or that does not like ads. They don't find ads cool. So we created web series where, you know, we feature some of the people within culture, give them money. That was before influencers became what they are today, right? This person is not necessarily an influencer, but they an artist. Maybe they are a rapper, you know, they're musicians. How do we then tie them to a brand for them to engage with the product, if it's a product, if it's a service, you know, like in a way that resonates with the target audience, you know? So when we're looking at that, we found that we were limited to work within the platform Zkhiphani, right? Forming an agency would allow us to be able to tap into our fellow, you know, like media owners, you know. So it's a long way for us to go from a culture perspective. So once what we're trying to do is to educate the clients and have these workshops to show them that culture is the way. Do you know what I mean? So like, it's a continuous thing for us to try and educate, you know, them that this is culture and this is what we mean by culture, and culture leads everything, you know. I mean, in 2018, if we were to sit down, we sat down a lot of brands to say, there's this thing called Amapiano. You need to jump on it. In 2018, you know, when it was, you know, like starting to pop off, you know. 2019 happened, but not a lot of brands were jumping on. Some of them visit the space, but they don't end up reaping the rewards because on Youth Day, that's when they want to do something with the youth, you know.
and the culture isn't always on. It's
it's
not a
always
Youth Day thing.
Exactly. So they wanna get in there, adopt something for that quarter or whatever, you know, like that duration, and they done, you know. So whereas, you know, you need to be consistently into culture, adopt something that a passion point that you feel like, okay, cool, you're going to empower these people within this space for a long period of time. Look at Red Bull, look at your Hennessy's, you know, like Hennessy got into hip hop, and still today they're into hip hop. When Sprite launches something, you know they're going to be into hip hop, and they're still into hip hop.
And funny though,
how does culture influence marketing?
It will always be relevant purely because of the fact that it helps keep you honest. It keeps you at the curve of what is going on.
Marketing needs to move at the speed of culture,
which plays a role in shaping our sense.
Welcome to the Culture Code podcast. In this podcast, we'll be telling stories of how influential culture is in business. You'll hear from some of the African culture curators on how culture can be used to drive good results through marketing and advertising campaigns. Now, here's the host of the Culture Code podcast, Tebogo K.
Welcome, folks. On today's episode, we're hanging out with Ali Fathana. Ali Fathana is a Chief Executive Officer for Fresh AF. Well, I normally call it Freshest. Fuck. But yeah, we're hanging out with him today on Culture Code. So I hope you're gonna enjoy this one. Brother, how are you?
All good, my brother. Thank you for having me, and thank you for the lovely intro.
Cool stuff, my brother. Well, was it lovely though?
It's cool. It's cool. Yeah.
No, you know what? I want you to kind of like tell our viewers, you know, who you are, you know, what you are about. You know, I mean, I know sometimes that I think there's these long intros and all of that, but I think for us here, we need to kind of you tell us. You know what I mean? I think I don't want to tell your story. I think you should tell your story. You know?
Yeah.
When I saw your middle name, is your middle name or
Madimeja?
Madimeja.
Yeah,
and then I was like, geez, man, I'm getting a young 16 bar. I'm getting a young 16 bar, a youthy young 16 bar there. So Madimeja is your middle name.
Yeah, Madimeja is my middle name. I'm Pedi, of course, and I know a lot of people do know that it's a Pedi name. However, it's actually a name from the Tebele people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So obviously, Group Areas Act, then we fall under the Pedi people. Yeah. But initially, grand. Mutebeli.
Mutebeli.
Yeah, Mutebeli.
Oh, okay, that's
good.
good. Yeah. No, that's what I was talking about. The young 16, young 16,
yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about there? I'm talking about the clan.
Yes.
It's Tagaze.
It's Tagaze. Yeah.
So you got that?
Unfortunately, I don't have the 16 bars, but Kemokoni one chili hole.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. No, that's good. That's good, man. Yeah. So Zkhiphani.
No, Zkhiphani with the guy.
Zkhiphani.
So Zkhiphani, my name is Ali Fathana, as you've mentioned. I am from, born in Limpopo, in a village called Futani, in Mokopane. Yeah, so it was then known as Potgieterseres, but now the town is Mokopane. Yeah, I was born there. Then later moved to Joburg. That's where I grew up. So at a place called Rabi Ridge. Yeah, that's where, growing up, Kintwana ya Rabi Ridge, Kintwana Kasi. Yeah. So Kintwana Kasi, fell in love with the hood, and later on fell in love with the creative arts. Studied graphic design. I've got a diploma in graphic design. That's my, profession, I'd call it, my qualification, yes. So this is back in 2008 in Pretoria. Then started a branding agency in 2009. 2008, 2009, then we morphed into, what we are today as Fresh AF. Okay. Yeah.
So Fresh AF, what is Fresh AF? Fresh as fuck? Oh.
It is that. It is that. So we had to be bold, I co-founded Zkhiphani in 2009, which is a youth publication, a digital youth publication. It's a platform for youth. We cover things around fashion, music, and art. That's what helped us to morph into an agency. So in 2020, beginning of COVID, well, at the time we didn't know that COVID is coming. We decided to relaunch ourselves as a full-on advertising agency. So the name became an issue. So I had to think about a name. Founding something like Zkhiphani, the name says it all, it's an icebreaker. You can say to use Zkhiphani, so we needed a name that can, just get us into rooms without us trying. You know what I mean? So then it was dope AF, fresh, crispy fresh. Then I landed on fresh as fuck, Then I was like Fresh AF, and that's how we speak
that's how we speak in culture.
Like in culture, that's how we speak. This name took it just took over. I couldn't sleep. I was like, this is the name that we're going with. Then when I spoke to my business partners to propose this name, of which one of them, who is the chairman now of MNN, he is Christian. He's a pastor. Z. So he looked at the name. He was like, I hope this AF stands for Ali Fathana. He knew what I was saying, Then he's like, I know he likes it as long as, it's not in full, it's like AF, Then he co-signed the name, then we're here today,
That was it,
We get into rooms, people are like, is that what I think it is?
And you are now talking about how you are a Fathana from the villages called
Mokopane.
No. There's a name there.
Futani, yes. That's the
Fathana
Futani, yes.
Hey, that's cool,
it's a coincidence, but
it even rhymes there.
Yeah, it comes together, It sounds like I'm from royalty or something like that.
Back in Limpopo. You got land.
Yeah, I've got land.
Okay. Now the agency Fresh AF. So now this agency, what kind of an agency is it? I think I kind of get it. I get it myself. But I think someone sitting there, and your client, you think your clients get what you guys are about?
I don't think they do. So, like I've mentioned, so I co-founded Zkhiphani in 2009, and I'll just give you a backstory of how we got to where we are today, you know.
Yeah.
Co-founded Zkhiphani in 2009, and obviously like being within that space of publishing. I'll call it publishing. So initially we wanted to go as a print publication, but obviously budgets and stuff. So we ended up on a digital platform. So it's a website. We've got a team of writers that are writing and publishing articles on a daily basis. So obviously that means that for us to make revenue, we rely on advertising space, you know. So we're knocking on doors from a PR perspective. They buy into some of the editorials that we have. Then we realize that the budgets don't necessarily sit with PR. So they sit from a media agency point of view. Those are the people that we should be talking to. So we've been in every boardroom of all of these media agencies, your Group M, you know, your Densus, your all of them, you know, like the ones
OMD.
that OMD, you know, part of the PhD, because they've got Unilever as well. So yeah, so getting into those rooms, it's understanding that we are not a Times Live. Right. We're not a Times Live where we do a lot of, we have a lot of eyeballs on our site because it's a niche site, right? We're targeting the youth. So we're targeting youth culture. We're capturing stories within youth culture. So these brands want to be a part of it, but there needs to be a way that we serving the ads to this target audience that does not understand or that does not like ads. They don't find ads cool on a website. You know what I mean? So it's finding a way to convince the media buyer or the media strategist that this is a way that will Zkhiphanize this ad to live on our platform for the young people to be able to enjoy it and engage with the piece of content or the brand, you know. So we landed on creating bespoke advertising campaigns, but within Zkhiphani, you know, and it landed. So we created web series where, you know, we feature some of the people within culture, give them money. That was before influencers became what they are today, right? This person is not necessarily an influencer, but they an artist. Maybe they are a rapper, you know, they're musicians. How do we then tie them to a brand for them to engage with the product, if it's a product, if it's a service, you know, like in a way that resonates with the target audience, you know? So when we're looking at that, we found that we were limited to work within the platform Zkhiphani, right? So forming an agency would allow us to be able to tap into our fellow, you know, like media owners, you know. Then we make the work for the strategist or the media buyer easy. So they buy through the agency where we tap into the network that we have, you know. We can approach people like your Slicker on Live, you know, we can approach your Mzansis and the other key players that are playing within culture to amplify the message. So we became the go-to people to amplify some of the advertising revenues, you know, like if there's an ad that is already on TV or a campaign that's about to be rolled out, they bring us in the room to help them amplify the message through the culture platforms.
Jeez,
you know?
Wow.
So from there, then we, you know, the demand became, you know, like stronger. Then we decided to go full-on agency style, but obviously using our key, you know, like offerings which within Zkhiphani. So we're the only agency playing at the space that we're playing to have our own platforms. You know, that's our superpower. Yeah.
This is in South Africa?
In South Africa, yeah.
The whole of South Africa. So you guys are the only ones who are playing the way you're playing.
The way we're playing, at the size, you know, like we, the team is, we've got 31 people in the team.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
So you be a mid to what? Small to mid?
Small to mid, yeah. I think we still consider ourselves as a small agency. Yeah, but we small to mid, yeah.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, so I'm saying from that size, playing at that level, we are the only ones in SA. I can't think of someone else like as a full-on dedicated, you know, advertising Yeah.
And then how do you then get clients? Do you now go with do you go alone, or you go with other agencies? Apart from, I know you guys are part of M&N.
Yes.
Do you guys now go with, say, Ogilvy, for instance, or Machine, or whoever? So I think my question then would be, how do you guys get clients now? Because you guys are, the way you guys are playing, and also, do clients also understand what it is that you guys do, or how do you, I mean, because a lot of the people claim, or even brands, agencies, individuals claim that they play in culture.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I think to a conversation that we had the other day, anyone can be a culture enthusiast.
Yeah.
Right. But that does not make you a culture expert.
True.
Right.
True.
And I think, coming back to my question now, is that, one, do clients understand culture in your view?
Yeah.
And I think some agencies, some big agencies, do you think they also understand this culture thing?
I don't think they do. I think your question is twofold.
I don't want to get you in trouble.
I think no. It's all good. It's all good. I think I'll answer the first question, which was how do we get clients? You know, so the beauty of us starting out as a publication allowed us to be in the space of the media agencies, right? So we are. Our client would be, example, the media shop, right? So the media shop, within the media shop, they've got NetBank, they've got your famous brands. So us doing work for them means that the brand team would have to approve some of the work that we do. So in a way, it's an in for us. Although we are listed as a supplier within the media agency, but there might be a demand for us to be able to come in from a brand side of things, right? So now that gets us a meeting, you know, like we do go to brands directly.
Directly, okay.
Yeah, as Fresh AF, right? So as the agency side of things, we've got, you know, like we are within Unilever, we're working across some of their brands, that side. We at Spur Corp, we just now rolling out something that we're doing for Rocco Mamas, as well as I don't know if I'm allowed to mention the brands.
Go home
I'm
with
mentioning them, hoping that they'll come and
they must
advertise
come here,
on this platform.
On this platform,
you know what I mean? Yeah. So we're rolling out quite a lot of stuff from. We just rolled out with a car brand now that we did a launch for. So we do get instances where we're the only ones handling the piece of work, but in some instances it's a collaboration with other agencies, and not necessarily us putting together a proposal together. It's a brand saying, here's a piece of work I wanna plug into culture. I don't know how. Help me get into culture. You guys are the culture experts, right? Help me get in. From either maybe because from describing it in commercial terms for them internally, they can't have it as culture. Do you know what I mean? They'll call it PR. Yeah, they'll call it PR and influencers. Social media,
influencer marketing.
You know, they still battling with the terms and how to name it, right? So they will position us as a PR agency within maybe their business, and then we're known for that, right? But essentially, we are a culture agency,
which is very tricky because in America, for instance, I think the guys say, there's a lot of agencies. I mean, we were talking about it earlier. We have a lot of culture agencies in America who are solely for that. They just handle
100%.
Culture campaigns. They are known for that. But in South Africa, it's a different story. Like you say now, clients don't know how to place, how to place you guys or culture players. Hence, my question, I was saying, do they really understand that?
I don't think they do, right? And the reason why I say that is in a lot of in the US, they've given into culture as brands, right? They understand that culture controls everything. Whereas in SA, agencies control everything. If that makes sense, right? So if the agencies say TVC is the way, it's going to be the way, because obviously agencies want to make money. But culture will reject all of these things. Like I feel like some campaigns we're just doing them to check the boxes, right? Of, okay, cool, this looks good, we're going to the Luris, but the work was a showcase to fellow industry people within the advertising industry. But did it land? Do you know what I mean? To the people. Yes, we're selling the units, but did it land from an impactful way? In an impactful way, that's a debate. You know what I mean? So it's a long way for us to go from a culture perspective. So once what we're trying to do is to educate the clients and have these workshops to show them that culture is the way. Do you know what I mean? So like, it's a continuous thing for us to try and educate, them that this is culture and this is what we mean by culture, and culture leads everything. I mean, in 2018, if we were to sit down, we sat down a lot of brands to say, there's this thing called Amapiano. You need to jump on it. In 2018,
Back then.
when it was, starting to pop off, 2019 happened, but not a lot of brands were jumping on. Some of them visit the space, but they don't end up reaping the rewards because on Youth Day, that's when they want to do something with the youth.
and the culture isn't always on. It's not
an
a
always
Youth Day thing.
Exactly. So they wanna get in there, adopt something for that quarter or whatever, like that duration, and they done. So whereas you need to be consistently into culture, adopt something that a passion point that you feel like, okay, cool, you're going to empower these people within this space for a long period of time. Look at Red Bull, look at your Hennessy's, like Hennessy got into hip hop, and still today they're into hip hop. When Sprite launches something, they're going to be into hip hop, and they're still into hip hop.
And funny though, Sprite doesn't necessarily just play in culture; it plays across.
Exactly.
So I think brands maybe need to kind of adopt the same thing. I agree with you.
100%. So like, Sprite was quiet for a while, like in the past, I don't know, like 3-4 years. They came back again now. But coming back, speaking to hip hop, they did something now recently with Blakey, speaking to basketball, Hennessy with hip hop and NBA, like it's a seamless thing, So when you look at those brands and you look at the rewards that they're reaping from just being early adopters of culture, it's amazing.
It's amazing. Red Bull with I think with the
extreme, extreme sports. So it's exactly that. Now Red Bull does not necessarily focus on on the ads. It's not about selling the unit itself, but the pieces of content that you're getting from all over. Some of them it's UCG, user generated content that is coming from that person that is into extreme sport, marketing the brand.
Funny you say that. I think because I don't want to see ads. Well, I look at ads. I consume ads because I'm in the space. I wanna, it's more for Ali did this. So I want to check it out.
Yes.
But maybe if I don't know who did it, I'm like, man, I'm not, particularly because we are on YouTube, right? YouTube this, YouTube that. So we don't want to see ads. Even YouTube also blocks out ads. You buy a premium and say no.
Then you don't see
ads. Then you don't see ads. So you are right when you're saying, I think within culture, then how do we then go to consumer and say, but tell you about the brand without being in your face in a form of an ad.
Yes. And that was, when you started out from a publication point of view, that's exactly what we're doing. We just said, you know what, if we go the route of placing a banner on the site and all of that, it will be impressions based. It will be click per impression and all of that. Then we're playing a losing game for us because we don't have the numbers that would get us, to be able to stay afloat, But if we take it into our space where we feature the artists, we make the artists interact with the brand in a way that as a fan of that artist, I won't realize that I'll see the product, but I won't. It won't interfere with the content that I'm consuming.
Yeah, it's like Blakey. I'm a Blakey fan.
Yeah.
I mess with Blakey, and Blakey's on the bottle, the Sprite bottle. So
Yeah.
therefore,
you're part of it.
It's cool to drink Sprite.
Yeah, and you might be a fan of Blakey, but Blakey has not freestyled in a long time. Now Sprite comes and say, here's the Limelight freestyle. You know what I mean? Then you appreciate the brand for enabling the artist to be able to do that. So that's I think that's the biggest thing within culture, right? So it's what are you taking from culture and what are you giving back to culture?
What are you giving back to culture?
And us as an agency, we give back to culture. So your other question was around, anyone can claim to be a culture connoisseur.
Yeah.
But we put our money where our mouth is.
Well, no, anyone can be a culture connoisseur. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yes.
But I think being what's a connoisseur as well? I think like I was saying, culture enthusiast, because anyone can be a culture enthusiast.
Yeah.
But that does not make you a culture expert.
Yes, 100%, 100%. So,
Can we maybe approach that question a little bit different? I don't think you need to re-ask it, but just in terms of the answering, is just frame it in the sense of, like, if creativity drives the traditional agency, traditional ad agency, what drives the culture agency?
Yeah.
What's the, because creativity is both an approach as well as an output.
Yes.
Culture relevance can be the output.
Yeah.
But what's your magic recipe?
Yeah.
What's the thing that makes the agency work around?
Yeah.
culture?
Yeah.
Okay. So I need to ask it again.
Yeah, you can phrase it that way.
I can phrase it. Yeah.
Or you can
Yeah.
also do that
Yeah.
context.
So
Just remember,
yeah.
Remember, you were talking about Hennessy getting into hip hop.
Yeah.
Just remember that Ciroc got into Diddy.
Yeah.
Diddy
Yeah.
got into Justin Bieber.
You see,
That's a
oil was
good
an enabler. Oh, baby oil.
That's crazy. Yeah, I like this. So I think it's more a traditional. So a traditional way of doing things. I think in we were rolling all the time, right? Yeah. Okay, good. So traditional advertising. It's all about being creative, and you're gonna go into your traditional mediums, TV, whatever, right? But I think in culture, what makes you, and obviously you still playing, you're still a creative,
Yes.
as well, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But then how do you play there? I don't know how to ask it.
So I'll tell you what we're doing,
Yeah.
right? So from our side, the beauty about Fresh is that we've got our own properties, as I've mentioned, right?
Yeah.
We've got a publication called SA Creatives.
Sure.
So we profile creatives that are within the industry, right? So it's a platform that keeps them abreast with what their fellow creatives are doing.
Yeah.
What that does is that it keeps them inspired, up and coming creatives to see how it's done. Then they carry on, within that. We profile people within culture, but that are creatives, right? We've got Zkhiphani, we've just turned 15 now, 15 years in the game. We profile people within culture from fashion, music, and art. We've got something called Spaces, Spaces Africa. So Spaces Africa is a special one for us. It's heavily into culture. So we create experiential exhibitions. So we call them exhibitions deliberately, but not necessarily events, right?
What's up, it's Cooley Channel, I'm the top originator, reporting to you live at the African Art Spaces. We just killed our set, amazing. I just want to send a shout out to Jay and the team, Creative Spaces, for creating a platform for musicians and artists to express themselves.
There's already platforms that support fine arts. there's a ton of them, especially in our country and overseas. But in Africa, there hasn't been a platform that supports untraditional art, like street artists and illustrators and so forth, at least not formally, right? And so we thought, we love all of these artists that we know by name and the pieces we can acquire. Also, shout out to Robertson's, man. Robertson's is the first official brand that we have partnered up with. And when I mean partner, it's exactly that. Shout out to all the artists, shout out to all the exhibitors, shout out to all the DJs, shout out to all the performers, the presenters, and everyone that contributed.
The experience has just been incredible, breathtaking. I really cannot explain just how much sharing the space with incredible artists as well.
I've had the most amazing time. There's such fantastic creatives here.
This space has given me such an amazing platform.
And I think it's really important for these kinds of spaces to exist, you know, just to help inspire the culture, inspire other individuals who look up to us, who look up to the work.
Thank you, Spaces Africa. Thank you to Robinson. Thank you to SA Creators. Thank you to Fresh Act.
So meaning that we can take a music concert into an art gallery, right? And feature some of the prominent people within culture, even some people that are bubbling under, right? So when we go out to pitch, right, we'll put certain elements of the properties that we have into the pitch, right? As an added value. So in a way, we're introducing the brand into culture, right? And then what Spaces allows us to do is we can call on and invite some of the people within the brand spaces, right? For them to come and experience what we're doing here. So like within Spaces Africa, we did that from our own pockets. The first year, which we launched in April last year, not necessarily focusing on sponsorship because we wanted to drive the narrative into this. So the first one that we launched with is called African Fashion Spaces. So it's not a traditional, like a fashion show, right? It's a fashion show for fashion creatives, right?
So streetwear,
upcycling,
music,
thrifting, we have these kids, they called unknown projects, right? So they take a backpack of Nike, they cut it up to create like a top, a garment, a sweater, These kids are showing in Milan Fashion Week, they're showing outside of SA, right? There's a demand for them, but there's no platform like that in SA.
In SA.
So we've created that platform. There's a lot of kids that go downtown thrifting. They make a living out of it. It's a business for them. But they can't go to the fashion platforms that exist in SA that recognize them as the fashion people.
So it's like a Dapper Dan of this world
type of thing. So like you see the stuff that Virgil is doing. So like now it's contextualized this side by this platform. So it's a different thing altogether. So imagine now going back to a brand and trying to show a brand that this is where you should be playing, right? So we invite them into the space, they see the space, and this is where we get to flex our creative muscle, right? So we're in it for the long run. So because brands might not necessarily see the vision of where we try to take it,
it's very
we create our own platforms where their brands are not in that platform as yet, and show them how impactful these things are. So immediately after that, you get a kid that is showcasing in London just from that show because of the demand.
So you have cases like that?
Yeah, we have. This is real life things that I'm telling you. Things that we've done. We've just recently launched another one called African Art Spaces. So the African Art Space, they all fall under Spaces Africa, right? So we've got African music spaces, African fashion spaces, African culinary spaces, African fashion spaces, right? So all of that fall under Spaces Africa. So we recently did one 2 months ago, where we had this lady, Kim. So she had this artwork. So it was an art spaces, right? So she got recognized by Jeep. So we did an installation of a Jeep. She branded the Jeep. Jeep saw that thing. They contacted her to come and collaborate. So those are the kind of stories that we, like we get from these platforms, you know. And Robertson's was part of it. So it was a collaboration. So it was not a thing where they give us the money to just put their logo there and all of that. We've identified 6 creatives that worked in collaboration with Robertson's as they turning 100 years. You know, like, then it's a story.
It's a story.
It's not something that you can put into a TVC.
No,
and
it's not a
you know what I
TVC
mean.
vibe,
But within culture, it will forever be there. These stories of Robertson's or of any other brand, they'll forever be part of this creative, illustrators world, or this creative fine artist world, you know.
And a mileage for the brand is out
crazy.
Of this world. It's crazy.
Crazy. The first time when we launched, there was the other fashion platform, because it's Fashion Week. Fashion Week happens in the same week globally, right? So we did our launch was on the last day of that Fashion Week. Our media coverage was more than the one that has been existing for years, you know, because of the kind of people that you get. You know, you get people that are in the industry, you know, like that the culture appreciates, you know.
Shit, this is dope, man.
Yeah, someone that worked on, you know, like you see an Uncle Waffles today, but there's someone that worked on her clothes, you know. So those are the kind of people that we target, the real people behind certain brands as well.
So this is creativity that kind of like that solves that gives solutions to brands. It's not just about. I mean, I was listening to David Droga. You know David Droga or Droga 5? The guy that there's a company that just bought. Accenture bought Droga 5. There's an agency called Droga 5. Yeah, David, the guy who in that podcast he was talking about how they wanted to kind of like build a stadium. In Beijing.
Oh, nice. Okay.
For their brand. I think the brand was GE Electronics or whatever it is. They wanted to go and build a stadium.
But imagine what that stadium
it gives the long, like the mileage for the brand. It's crazy, man.
I'll give you an example, bro. Like if you look at something that was dope that happened from a KFC perspective, there was this thing called Vuzu Hustle.
I remember Vuzu.
Vuzu Hustle, there's a lot of artists that came out of that thing. Your Shane Eagle, you know, like he went big, right?
Sheldon Forbes, what happened to him?
Sheldon was a presenter.
The presenter,
So he was a Vuzu presenter, not necessarily on Vuzu Hustle, but he was just a presenter from the channel.
From the channel,
so you look at someone like a Shane Eagle, who's an artist, right? He's a rapper. His story, on every platform that he goes to, when they ask him, how did you start? You know, he will talk about KFC as part of his journey forever. You know, when you write an article, he will forever be tied to KFC because KFC was an enabler by buying space on this channel and creating this platform for the rappers to come in and do their thing. You know? So they'll forever be part of culture.
Sure.
Because of that piece. Had they continued with that, you know, they're rolling out some amazing stuff now. But, you know, like it's about continuation of that, you know.
Jeez, man. Sure. It's quite deep though, eh? Culture, deep.
Can I just interject there? Because I think the thing that's really different from the previous content and the previous guests around creativity in the advertising is this thing, Ali, you bring it out very strongly, is the relevance and the relationship between the brand and whether it's the artist or whether it's the environment whatever it is. And I think that's really something worth, because I see even you getting excited.
Yeah.
That's worth digging into to understand this impact of culture in the marketing environment,
100%.
the marketing environment in culture, the longevity of it, how it shapes, and how it explodes something that is like this, and makes it even bigger.
100%.
And I think that's part of your secret recipe.
And
it's the thing that you do.
And maybe just to build on that, again, so our superpower is the platforms. So I'll be speaking a lot about the platforms that we have. So I mean, we just turned 15 years with Zkhiphani, right? Our first cover was Kulichana. You know, some of the covers.
I saw Ricky
Rick. That was his first cover, first ever cover. He had one previously, but it was Mamas and Papas. But that was his first cover. Major League, we gave them
first cover as a come up.
First cover, magazine cover.
I'm just saying, like as a come up, as Ricky as a come up.
As Ricky come up.
Jeez, are you serious?
Yeah, 2014, 2015. So we printed like 10 issues. Were available at CNA, all the retail stores.
So this is before any brand or any publication could jump on Ricky. You guys
they've profiled him, but as a cover artist.
I know. As a cover,
It was his first one, Major League first one. We had Nomuzi there. We had so a lot of stuff that we do. It's the first, right? Babe Zodumo's first video interview was with us, right? So what that does is that it allows us to have a relationship with these people to say we are invested in your success, right? So even from an agency side of things, when we want to pair like a brand with an artist, you know, the conversations that we would have with him or her would be different, right? To another agency going there for the first time trying to broker a relationship.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Because they need to start with the relationship first, whereas we interact with these people with or without a brand involved. You know? So from an influencer perspective, we don't just look at it from influencer thing. You know, like
it's more than that.
It's more than that. We did something with X where we actually won 2 awards with that at the Next Gen Awards. So it was we created something called the Freshman, right? X was known to be, you know, like, you know how X is, you know, like
the guy.
masculine, the guy, you know, like, but because now, you know, like the Gen Zs today, it's not about race, it's not about gender, it's not about, you know, like it's just community based, you know. So we wanted to break those gender norms within the brand itself. So we identified like 5 key people that are not necessarily influencers. You know,
but you know what? I think let me just come in there. So and I think we let's agree on this. So influencer
from the term,
influencer or influencer marketing, that's something else. That's
true.
I mean, when you are an influencer, and I think that we have a lot of influencers online now. We have Michal is an influencer.
Yes.
There's a lot of these guys, right? But these guys, they're not necessarily play in culture. They are not 100%. That way inclined.
Yes.
They just like have more following. And then they are very vocal online and whatnot. But they are not like, you see, someone like Scoop Makhathini.
Scoop is an influencer.
He's like a culture influencer.
No, he's got influence.
He's got influence.
Yeah, he's got influence. Because now, you know, like sometimes you offend people when you call them influencers. You know what I mean? Because of exactly what you've said, people would do something in repetition and they would be consistent in doing that thing. Then people get onto their platforms or get onto their accounts and subscribe and follow them because they're expecting that content. Then now they've become big with this huge number of people and we call them influencers. Whereas you get people that have skin in the game within culture, like a Scoop that has been putting in work for years. You know, like he's contributed to some of into my journey. You know, like one of the reasons why I'm here is because of Street Journal by Night. Do you know what I mean? So he's the guy. You know, like so when you pair a brand with that guy, you know, you definitely going to have ROI there.
Here's another thing, though. I think for me, so. Yes, culture influencers or just an influencer from a perspective of like I got big numbers and whatnot. And to some of these guys, they can be a little bit like draw, color outside the lines and all of that.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
So
because Scoop is very vocal.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%. So
have you worked with him?
Yeah, we've worked with him. The launch, the African Fashion, art spaces. He was the guy, the MC guy.
Okay.
We've worked with him on previous stuff as well.
Yeah.
But that one was quite recent.
Yeah.
We understand who he is, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think he's ever went on a platform to speak ill of a brand.
No, he doesn't.
It's always his rants, his personal stuff,
Yeah.
But
you know how
how
the industry is.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be vocal like that.
Yeah.
Right?
You see, like that's the thing, like with
not that
SA culture.
Yeah, from SA culture.
With SA brands. SA brands, man, a lot of these brand teams, they're not as brave as they say they are. We've seen a lot of pushback, a lot of stuff that we do. They're like, yo, this is too brave. This is too fresh AF.
Yeah.
They're like, do it fresh without the AF. So when you look at the US, right? Their ambassadors, or how do you call them? I don't even want to call them influencers, because that side you get ambassadors. Like whereas this side it's now just influencers. They understand that these people have personal lives. It's only after it's gone to court and this person is proven guilty where now they pull away. From a PR perspective. But in most cases, when someone is just addressing someone, it's a beef on Twitter. A brand pulls away. You're just like, but
like, what the hell?
What the hell? You benefit from all of this.
Look at what's happening now in America now with Beyonce.
Yeah.
I mean, Beyonce by default, she's kind of like tainted. Like her reputation has been tainted by default.
Yeah.
Via
Didi, all of those things.
Jigga.
There's allegations against Meta,
right?
Meta
and all of that shit. But Beyonce's ads are still running. The Levi's jeans ad are still running. Nothing has been pulled.
Jay-Z just signed the NFL staff renewal.
Right.
For the Super Bowl.
No one is pulling out. But in South Africa, you do.
Because you know what would happen? They would sue the brand for pulling out.
Yeah.
Because there's no proof,
So Beyonce will now go like, yo, I'm taking you out.
Yeah. You'll have to sue.
Oh.
On what basis are they cancelling the contract? You know what I mean? So she didn't say anything. They sued, what's his name? On his platform where he entertained Jaguar, the lady that was making all the allegations.
Yeah, the Jaguar lady, what's her last name? Jaguar, right?
Right, yeah. I forgot the guy's name, man. He's a popular guy, the TV show. In the UK, I think. What's his name again? I forgot his name.
I don't know.
Chris, sorry?
Piers Morgan.
Piers Morgan,
Morgan,
yes.
yeah.
On Piers Morgan show. So Piers Morgan went out publicly to apologize for the allegations.
Which included Beyonce.
Yeah, which included Beyonce
and Jay-Z. Oh, yes. Beyonce and Jay-Z wanted to sue?
Yeah, so Jaguar Wright, I think, went on an interview with Piers Morgan.
Yeah, I saw that interview, yeah.
But Piers Morgan later on came back, to say that apologies, I shouldn't have done that and all of that, because Jay-Z and Beyonce,
they were on him.
Yeah, they were on him.
But that interview was pop, though. Nah, that interview was pop.
That guy, the podcasts are the ones that are proper.
Yeah, that guy was pop. I mean, that guy, he was like a little bit safe. I mean, Jaguar wanted to go in hard.
Yeah.
But but he was like, nah.
Yeah.
Nah. Like he wasn't coming with it.
Yeah.
Jeez, man. Wow. Yeah. So tell me about Mkhwanazi and Ngubane network. You guys are part of it.
Mkhwanazi and Ngubane. So that's our shareholder.
Yeah.
So with Avatar, they own Avatar. So Fresh AF and Avatar, we have a common shareholder, which is Mkhwanazi and Ngubane, MNN.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we've been with them since late 2018, early 2019. When we came into their space, they were working on the Let's Go Grow South Africa Together, which was the ANC, campaign that we also worked on from a youth perspective.
Yeah,
so
you are comrades then.
No, not necessarily, man. It was just about the piece of work, like it was dope work. We've worked on multiple campaigns together, in our early stages into the relationship, but now we two separate entities from Avatar and Fresh, where we're able to stand on our own and do an entire pitch ourselves.
Okay, so you can go together to pitches together.
Yeah, if there's a need for them. So just like any other group, right? We look at what the brief is, right? So we recently won Robertson's together. Yeah. So so we're coming in from the culture element, you know. So they come in from a traditional agency perspective. Then when there's a need for culture, then we would go into the presentation together.
Your offices are cool, man. I mean, thank you for inviting me, man. It was dope, man. So you guys have a stage in the office now? You there's DJ, there's what's the vibe? What's happening there?
So we believe, in doing things differently. And obviously, like I've mentioned earlier, that we've got Zkhiphani, which is 10-15 years.
Sure.
We actually rolling out a thing, like a campaign, in celebration of this 15 years. The last one will be a festival at One Fox.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so on the 1st of December.
Oh, cool, man.
So we did a live session. So where it's conversations and a mini performance in the office, in our office. We've got a nice setup there, studio design.
So shout out Zkhiphani for always doing the most for the culture and so on. Why is this Zkhiphani's Fagapunyete, Joe? Let's go.
I'd like to wish Zkhiphani.com a happy 15th birthday, man.
Big shout out to Zkhiphani. Shout out to Zkhiphani, man. 15 years of happiness.
Shout out to Zkhiphani, man. Happy birthday, Zkhiphani, and thank you for giving me an interview platform, because look where we are now.
Shout out to Zkhiphani, dog. It's been 15 years of greatness, 15 years of epicness, 15 years of Zkhiphani, and a happy birthday.
Yo, this is DJ P. Carter wishing Zkhiphani a happy 15th years celebration.
I really feel honored to be a part of the ZK 15 celebration.
Happy birthday to Zkhiphani.
Happy birthday to Zkhiphani. We love y'all. Shout out.
Happy 15th birthday to Zkhiphani.com.
Happy 15 years, Zkhiphani.
Dope shit, man.
Yeah, thank you. That speaks to the 15 years. We had Kuli Chana come in, we had Nomuzi coming in, we have the new kids on the block now, Usmamani, that performed and having conversations about culture, about creativity, and about brands.
And then are you in these sessions? Are you inviting clients?
We are inviting clients within these sessions. Everything that we do always has people from the brand side, and we create those platforms for the guests that are there, which are people from culture, to interact with the people from brand side, just so that there's no gap, so that for us, when we go and present to clients and say, this is what we're doing, so it's not a shocker.
Have an idea.
They have an idea of what it is that we're doing, because maybe they've had conversations with those people within culture, and it's important for them to hear the frustrations that come out of culture, because there's this feeling of brands being culture vultures. They're coming into the space, they're visiting the space, they take everything from culture, and say there's no budget, and come back again after years,
But you know what I like about that? I think culture vultures. I call my viewers culture vultures. not in a derogatory way, but I think more in a creative way. The thing about what you're saying now about brands being culture vultures, is that does not go anywhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, so they take this thing, but they can't grow it further.
100%.
Anyway, you know
100%.
you know what I mean. So I think for me, because if you've created something from the jump, you are able to put it forth. You know what I mean, like to grow it.
100%. But do you know why that is the case?
Yeah.
It's because they're not using culture agencies.
Ah.
So if you're using a culture agency or people that are experts within culture, then you'll reap the rewards and you'll get into it in a tasteful way, in a way that does not offend culture.
Of course.
Yeah. So that's why we exist.
Yeah.
We able to bridge that gap between brands and culture.
Yeah. I'm so happy now that there's no people dancing for chicken anymore.
Exactly. I mean, speaking of dancing, like I've got my business partner, Jake Ayembe.
Yeah.
So Jake Ayembe back in the day, and this is just to give you like more of a background or context of why we call ourselves, culture connoisseurs, right? So back in the day, he created something called Masters of Rhythm, right? He made it a point that young people would be able to monetize the dance culture. You know, there were pedals within that, brands coming in, you know, like some of the people that have been there, your Pretty Uglies, your Bonke, they're doing well now. You know, like when you look at the Summers, the Mamas back in the day, they would take people from Masters of Rhythm to go and...
I can't remember Masters of Rhythm.
It was a big thing.
Yeah. Jake Ayembe,
yeah. So it's just to give you...
That's the guy with dress yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday.
That's why I was saying I know this guy.
That's him. And he's done amazing stuff within culture. So the two of us coming together, you know, create something explosive, you know.
So now, Ali, you are a suit now. What's happening? I mean, okay, and I suppose this is growth for business, right?
Yeah.
But now you are a, so what? You call you what now? A creative suit? Or you are both? You
see, the thing is with the titles.
You are a Steve Jobs with it.
I'm a co-founder,
yeah.
right? So the you know, in the early stages, you know, like when I was still obsessed with creativity, driven by passion, crazy passion, and only like the creative passion that I had. But now, you know, like it's fusing that passion with more, you know, like from it's seasoned now. It's the experience coming together with that drive and that hunger to be more of within the business side of things, to make sure that people that are this creativity will be able to make money, and people that are within culture will be able to make money. So I'm the guy, you know, like that that brings business into creativity. You know.
And then you were telling me about the SA Creatives. It showcases, it shines a light on creatives.
On creatives, yes.
It still does that. I mean, from the jump, it was there, right?
So it's been there from the jump. So we bought it from Atwell, a guy that initially founded the magazine. I think him and his wife. He's now the I don't wanna
Google guy.
Yeah, Google guy. Yeah,
is it that guy?
Atwell. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Jeez,
I was trying to find his title at Google. I don't know.
It's something there.
Yeah. No, he's big. He's a big creative guy there at Google. Yeah. So he founded the magazine. We brought it over to our side, I think, in 2020. Yeah.
Jeez,
I mean, we've got a team of content creators that are in-house that on a daily basis, even now they're writing articles about creatives and all of that.
So is it just writing, or there's video to it?
So now it's content creation. So like it's
writing,
video. We video first. We try as much as we can to prioritize video. Because it gives context. I mean, shout out to you know, like your platforms like TikTok, where it made video even bigger, you know. Yeah.
Sure. Jeez, man, you guys are doing the things, man.
Yeah, we're pushing, bro. We're pushing. And the beauty is that we heavily reliant on our properties. I'll always say this, because those properties enable us to be able to sharpen our creative tools, you know.
So where to now for Zkhiphani?
For Zkhiphani is looking at the next 15 years. and seeing, we don't know how that is like because we are led by culture. We just the mouthpiece, behind culture. That's from a Zkhiphani point of view, and from the SA Creatives point of view, I mean, we still chasing 15, So from an agency perspective, the fight is still there. The fight is on. We would like to see brands. I mean, your biggest brands in SA having, a chief marketing culture office. That's what we want to see.
Chief
marketing youth office. Not just the CMO where you've got someone that is leading the youth division or the youth segment of whatever offering. That needs to report to a CMO who is maybe in their 50s or
who doesn't know
about
this.
Fuck all about culture, So we're trying to encourage the businesses to look into getting someone that is within the space, and when the brief goes out, there should be a brief that says, this is above the line, below the line, this is digital, this is youth, or this is culture. Then they look at the culture agencies, like we need to.
But do you think that is going to happen with all the cabals?
Maybe not in my lifetime, but it's a battle that I think once I think now we're starting to see a lot of like these bespoke agencies, boutique agencies, I think they coming in and a lot of them are starting to have a purpose, whereas we saying, we mad about culture. We crazy about culture, and we
are culture.
We are culture.
Yeah, we're not just
talking about culture. We are culture, and in you can look at our backgrounds. You can look at like everything that we do is culture.
And then you guys play in awards?
We do. We only started getting heavily into that like in 2022. We backed something 2022, 2023 we didn't. 2024 we did this year. So it's looking.
And I think also categories. I think Luris and all the other guys. Do they also understand? Do they also have your categorize you under culture?
It's very, very traditional. It's very, very traditional. So but like when digital came, people were traditional, but they morphed into digital agencies. Like now influencers, like influencer agencies. Now like culture. Watch the space. Like in the next 5 years, you'll have a WPP company that specializes in culture only.
100.
That is coming.
That is coming.
Yeah, because briefs will be coming out just saying we want to get into culture.
That's it.
And when that happens, people will start shaping up their agencies to fit the demand.
You're a young guy. You just got married.
Yeah, man. I left my ring at home today.
Should you cut this out?
I'm new in it.
Should you cut
No, we can. we can have it. Yeah. No, it's to show that I'm new in the space.
You forgot the ring.
I forgot the ring. But
you get in trouble there with the ring.
No, she's here. She's here.
You forgot the ring, but you brought the wife. The wife is here, but you forgot the ring.
I know. So I've got my wife. So we're good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, cool stuff, brother. I think I think that's it. Dope conversation. I think we must do another one actually. I think this one is not just a 1 hour type of a thing. It's a longer one. I think we need to keep having these conversations.
No stress, bro. Like I think I'm keen on these conversations, and I think this is a dope platform that resonates with us as Fresh. It's not speaking from a traditional perspective. You're trying to know the story and the reason why. So the why is culture for us. And the education around it. There's a business element that we can tap into and speak about, the hardships of building this business as a business and making sure that it makes money. And there's a story of education around culture and all of that, So I can have any of the two, that's still chilled with me,
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you
really
so much
appreciate it, man. Dope conversation. Fresh as fuck.
Fresh AF.
No, cool, man. I think, folks, there you have it. This one was like for culture. This one, so I know that, and I think culture is still also a gray area. It's still a bit of like a slippery slope there. But you know what? I think these conversations, we need to have them. We're going to have them. And definitely we'll bring Ali back to kind of have more, conversations around culture. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Peace. Danko. Jeez, you guys were putting under pressure. They're like, yeah, finish.
Oh, is it? Were they saying finish?
Yeah. No, because I got another guy.
The stories are being told by the culture. Culturally, how people think is slowly dictating what the advertisers want to move towards. It needs to catch up, but what you find is that marketers who need to implement the speed are backwards themselves. Marketers who are not forward thinkers. We need brave marketing or marketers that can influence culture.